It's right up there as some of the most critical equipment on your hunt, and if it doesn't work right, it can turn a great hunt miserable. We're going to cover footwear up next. I'm your host Evan. Welcome to Hunting Lessons. Thanks for joining me again on Hunting Lessons. I'm working hard right now to put together a bunch of solid content that'll help you out this season. So please subscribe to make sure you catch it all, and it really does help this channel out as well. With 18 years of military service under my belt, I've worn a lot of boots in the field. And I can speak from experience that if you're wearing boots that either don't fit, aren't right for the conditions, aren't broken in, or are worn out, your feet, instead of your task, can quickly become the front and center issue. I had a great pair of insulated hikers that had hung in there for years, but I had worn them way past when I should have replaced them. They were supportive and comfortable right up until a day late last November when hunting out in the foothills, one of the soles started to peel off. Now, I realized it when I walked through a ditch and a little bit of water that I had stepped in came right into my boots through the bottom. For the rest of the day, my feet took way too much of my focus. So I really should have known better than to let such an important piece of gear wear out like that. But boots are expensive, and there's a lot of sexier kid out there that you really want to pick up, especially earlier on as you're getting into hunting. But because I tried to squeeze one last season out of a pair of hunting boots that were really past point, I ended up hunting boot shopping at the end of November, and the shelves were a lot barer than they would have been earlier on in September. It really was a painful reminder to keep on top of kit maintenance. So what's key for boots? I'd say first, your expected purpose and climate. Are you going to be sitting out in the blind in the woods behind the house at -15? Or are you going to be covering complex terrain at +10? It's going to drive a big difference in the pair of boots that you choose to wear. If it's going to be a cold day out in the woods, sitting around, I'm probably going to throw on a pair of mucklucks. For anything else, I'm probably going to throw on one of my pairs of hikers. For hunting a 40-degree spread from one part of the season to the next, you're probably going to want two pairs of boots. An uninsulated pair of boots and an insulated pair of boots. I like to have GORE-TEX membranes in both so that my feet stay dry regardless. My early season pair of boots is absolutely the best pair that I have ever owned. I'm wearing the Salomon Quest 40 hikers. At 2.8 pounds, or 1.3 kilograms, they're super light and I've never worn a more comfortable pair of boots. They've got the support I need for long traverses on the side of a hill, but on the flat, feels like I could be wearing a pair of sneakers. I'll put a link down below for them, and I'll note it's also available in a woman's version. If we're getting down into sub-zero hunting, I'm going to pull out my insulated boots. Although the shelves were getting empty when I went to replace my boots for the late season last year, I did find something that I ended up being really happy with. I've also got size 12 feet, so that just makes it even harder. I ended up picking up a pair of 8-inch RedHead trackers at Bass Pro. They performed really well sitting through a couple of cold days in the blind last December while I was filling my late season antlerless tag. They kept my feet toasty through grouse hunting the first couple weeks of January. The pair I have has a 600-gram Thinsulate liner, which is middle of the road since I usually see insulation running from 400 to 1,000-gram Thinsulate liners. At 3.5 pounds or 1.6 kilograms for the pair, I didn't find them too heavy. After breaking them in, they provided a lot of support and comfort over the long distance, and I'm looking forward to wearing them this November. Whatever you pick up has to work for your feet, and you've got to give yourself time to break it in. If you pick up a pair of boots on the way out for a long day of hunting, you're asking to be limping around when you get home. Also, highly recommend keeping some polish on your boots. Polish does more than just make your boots look good. It also protects them and extends the life of your boots. Now there's more to footwear than just boots. The kind of socks you've got on can make a big difference in your day as well. Just like the rest of your clothing, cotton is not your friend when it comes to your socks. And just like the rest of my base layers, I prefer wool. I cringe thinking about the rough wool socks I wore on basic training. I would never wear a pair of those for hunting. But wool's come a long way. Smart wool socks come in all different weights, and just like your merino base layer, if they get damp, they're going to do a lot better job at keeping you warm than cotton will. I've got a lot of nice cushiony Smartwool socks for hunting. I love wearing them and I would highly recommend them. There's one last piece of kit that's worth its weight in gold, and that's a good pair of gaiters. Gaiters are great any time of the year. Whether it's getting you through the long grass on a dewy morning or chasing elk through the snow, gaiters are great at keeping you dry. If you end up with soaked pant legs or snow gets around the top of your boots and starts melting down inside, you're just going to end up having a suboptimal day of hunting. I picked this pair up at Cabela's last year. They seem to be another casualty of the Bass Pro purchase because they're not available anymore. But for a near identical pair at the same price point, I found this pair of outdoor research gaiters that I just ordered for my wife for this season. I've used a lot of great OR accessories and I've never had an issue with anything I've ever used. Greatest thing about OR is their infinite guarantee. After a few years of wear, just for example, my pair of fleece gripper gloves had the palm surface start to wear off. OR replaced the pair of gloves, no questions asked, so I've got no hesitation whatsoever in recommending them for any of your accessories. It's absolutely top-notch gear. If you want to know more about any of the kit I covered, check the video description down below and I've included some of the links there. That's it for today. With the right pair of boots for you, some quality socks, and a great pair of gaiters, you can keep the focus off your feet and where it belongs, on the hunt. Thanks for joining me again on Hunting Lessons. Until next time, keep learning.